podcast. It's Stinker Time. It's Stinker Time podcast. It's Stinker Time.
Remote.
Going remote. Yeah, baby. Welcome to the show. I'm Steve Schaefer.
I'm Cody Adams.
I'm Jordan Chumney.
And this is a Damn Good Time podcast.
Hit him with it.
Yeah, baby.
Baby.
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
Super excited about this.
I want to have a good time.
Well, not a good time.
A damn good time.
There we go. Yeah. Place the fucking branding right there, dude.
All right.
Hey. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Welcome.
We're sitting here at Jordan Chumney's fucking shop.
My shop. It's my knife shop. It's where I
His
do
knife
everything.
shop.
It's where I'm at every day. This is my home away from home.
Fairly
This is
new.
shit.
Fairly new. I've had it for like a year, but I've only been in it full time for like a month. So
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
yeah.
So this has been like a passion project for yours for a minute.
Yeah, I mean I've worked in the professional realm of knife making for like 3 years. Been doing it for a decade in general, but just recently decided to come to my own spot and just do my own thing. And so far it's really fun and it's super different. I really like to get kind of like in my zone, and when I can just come in and like lock the door and literally just put my phone down and nobody comes and sees me or anything. It's freaking sweet.
That's awesome.
I really enjoy that.
He makes most of his knives butt naked.
Butt naked.
I would actually. I'm picturing that in my head. I would love to see that happen, but I feel like you probably got like some chaps or some shit. Like, do you?
What, you don't want the sparks to hit you there?
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna delve right. What's PPE look like?
Well, a serious question. What's PPE look like?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry.
So,
Jokes aside.
Yeah, because I'm
chaps
really
aside,
curious.
So obviously,
Are there chaps?
If my dad was a farrier, so he wore chaps. He was a horseshoer.
Yeah.
So he had those cool chaps and everything. The only blacksmithing I really do is making stuff like. No, I don't wear chaps. It'd be cool to have some chaps. I would wear chaps, but I don't necessarily need chaps.
That's last on the budget, right?
That is last on the. It's not last on the budget. It's closer to the end though. More importantly, for like what I do is inhalants, like a shitload of dust and carbon fiber dust and fiberglass dust, and
Right.
steel and just all the bad dust in the whole world. So some kind of good mask system and like a regular like that shit we wore for COVID isn't quite enough. You need a respirator system.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not to cut you off, but like most people think like, oh, you're a knife maker, just hammering metal all day. No, you're grinding.
I'm grinding a bunch. Yeah,
and then in the handles, there's carbon fiber, there's plastics, there's all these other different
the
materials.
exact stuff that you don't want to breathe. And then, or I'm sandblasting with silica, with glass bead.
Yeah.
All of like the horrible shit. And I know that there is a puddle of it in my lungs for sure, because I'm not the best at wearing my PPE all the time. But I try to. Along with that, a good dust collection system, which I'm still working on getting a good one for here. I have my actual air filter up there, which is overpowered for the size of the shop, so it helps take all of the excess dust out of the air.
Yeah.
But getting a good vac system for underneath my actual grinders and stuff is high on my to-do list. Until then, though, I just like hold my breath when there's a cloud of shit in front of me. Sweet. Other than that, though, like you can't wear gloves because you need your feel. Like everything's feel. And honestly, on the tools that I'm using, gloves are more dangerous anyway. Like you might get just one stuck in the belt or something. It's just it's just you don't want wear gloves. I don't really need steel toe boots. I'm not working around heavy stuff. So really, just your lungs and
Yeah, it's main concern. And then
That's
cutting yourself is obviously
cutting yourself, but you really can't prevent it. I cut myself. I've had the finger stitches,
Dude, and that's one thing. You're not the only, which I wish you were the only. And sorry, I'm not cheating on you, but I follow other knife makers,
That's disgusting.
Other people.
I don't.
On the Instagram, on the
Good boy.
on the things,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you always see they have Band-Aids constantly.
Our fingers are disgusting.
Yeah,
I used to care like every time every video I make is essentially me holding a knife. and I see past my hands because I see them all the time. They're in front of my face constantly. And then like I'll try to like look at one of my videos like I'm seeing it for the first time. And if you don't focus on the knife and you just look at my fingers, they're ridiculously disgusting. Like right now they don't look so bad, but in my work day they are horrendous, and I just don't notice them. You know, it's kind of like laundry on your workout machine. You just walk past it every day.
I gotta say though, is it weird that I envy that?
No, because
well,
there's
for
something
instance,
awesome about it.
When I was more in the oil field and stuff, when I was more hands on. Now I still have a trade job,
right.
I would say,
right?
Where they say,
but you don't have a callus maker,
yeah. Where they say "dirty hands, clean money" type thing,
right?
You know,
right.
That whole saying, like "fuck you, shut up," you're just pandering. But still, like I miss where my fingers and my hands be scarred and bruised and broken, and like because I work with these, I still do it, but to the sense where I'm losing my calluses. Yeah. I'm losing my shit.
I do low key love having like man hands.
Right.
Like I like that my hands.
Of pride in
my
that.
hands look like they mean business. Like
oh,
these are hands. You don't fuck with these hands. But honestly, you can fuck. You'll beat the shit out of them, you know?
Yeah.
But my hands look serious. When I pay for stuff, I feel like they take me more seriously.
Even like back in the day when I was a chef, like I would always I had this callus right here, right across this palm, like. Just from using a chef knife constantly, and I don't do that anymore, and I've lost that. So now, like, I'm prepping Easter dinner this weekend, and I'm gonna cut some potatoes, and I'm gonna get a fucking blister where my knife goes. I'm like, God damn it, what am I? What am I anymore?
I graduated from calluses and moved on to loss of feeling.
yeah.
I've in the last year, you can still see my most recent scar. I went bone deep on my index finger on this side, and then tipped down pretty far on a bandsaw on this side. You can still see there. But in the last 9 months, I've got finger stitches twice. They happen pretty often. The crazy part is I never cut myself with a knife. Like I've got really good at just like blade awareness. You know, I could carry a razor blade. When I use a box knife, I don't use a body for it. I just hold the razor blade all the time. Never cut myself once. It's always on stupid ass wood tools, and I don't know if it's because I'm I'm like, oh, it's wood. Haha, this is fun and stupid.
Yeah.
Or, you know, what it is.
Right.
But it's always on wood tools. It's always with wood.
And I might beg to say it's 100% complacency where you think like that's not going to bite me.
Yeah. These are like
always,
silly materials. Yeah.
Always complacency is the one that
it's
that
bandsaws. Bandsaws and table saws have got me 4 out of the 5 bad finger cuts have been bandsaws and table saws.
You hit a table saw?
That one right there. Was, the gate,
it's off camera, but I'm looking at it.
The gate was set at like an 1/8 inch, so it was set for like just a little slither, like a veneer of something. And it kicked out the material. I was using a pusher and everything. It kicked out. My finger went to the gate. And I took an 1/8 inch off the tip of my finger.
God damn.
If I wouldn't have had that gate on there, who the fuck knows? How
right?
It would have been.
Yeah.
Dude, it was nasty though. I didn't like that one just because it wasn't that I didn't need stitches or anything for that one because there wasn't a cut.
There wasn't anything.
It just took an 1/8 inch off the end of my finger.
Yeah.
But I could see like the tip of my bone and stuff, and my fingernail will never grow back normal. It like there's like a double fingernail there. It sucks.
Yeah.
I hate that. I really don't like every time I get a cut on my hands, it's like, okay, well, you could just super glue that together. Like you don't need anything.
Easy.
But I do always go get stitches because it's like I get this like grossed out like, oh, one of my 10 fingers is fucked up right now, and like I get queasy about it just because like I don't want to lose a finger at all.
No.
And every time that like this last one, it was so just brutal that like it was just by luck that I didn't just like shear my bone, you know. And losing a finger would suck. I have multiple friends in the knife world that have lost fingers.
Yeah,
and it's like a cool story, but I use every fucking one of them, and it's always my index fingers too, and like I need my index fingers.
Right.
Yeah.
I would be lost without my index.
But even back door as a chef, I mean that's how we met each other. Was basically working through kitchen and shit.
I met you in a berry field actually, but yes.
Oh yeah. we bonded more in the culinary world.
Yes, we did. Yes,
but like even then, like I would just fuck up and then get bone deep on some shit or take the tip off. And then my biggest fear was like, make sure that's not in a salad.
Do you remember? It might have been you that you guys both know Nick Mayo.
Vaguely, yes.
Rest his soul.
Yeah, he's like dead now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he is. He's not like he is. Rest in
R.I.P.,
peace,
baby.
Love you, Nick. One of you guys was there the day that he came into the kitchen, and he was. I mean, it was no secret. Nick Mayo was on a lot of fucking pills.
Yeah,
and he came in there in a whole different world to the point where I was very concerned. And I kept trying to get him to sit down, and he was chopping romaine, and he's like, "No, I got it," and he was just autopilot chopping like hard, like no regard for safety at all. And I'm watching him like, "Oh Christ, oh God, oh no, please stop!" And sure enough, man, just boom, right on the end of his finger. It was nasty. It was a bad cut, but I felt bad because I should have just like told him to leave before he got in the door.
Yeah,
but it was, I mean, you're in a kitchen. You're dealing with the.
We were young.
What you got?
We were young. We were probably all under the influence, and none of us knew what the fuck was going on then.
Yeah, he was a different level of fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say we had some people that, obviously some marijuana and some things like that.
Miss
but I
that.
don't know about like the hardcore.
Dude,
like
I miss
I mean,
kitchen vibes so much. Every time you guys watch Bear, you guys watch
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
I have
Roasted
not.
Bear.
I get such kitchen like flashbacks. Like they really paint it in a like pretty good. I think they kind of make it seem authentic enough. Obviously, it's a little higher end, but like those kitchen attitudes, dude. I love kitchen attitude where like somebody could just be like the worst person in the world until Rush is over, or like the people who suck until Rush happened, and then they were so good and like they could keep their shit together so well that like you liked them during Rush.
Yeah,
And then it was over, and you're like, "Oh, you're a piece of shit again."
my thing is like I don't, I hate to say it's like I don't want the flashbacks. I don't,
Oh, it
I'm
gives
not.
you so much anxiety watching it.
I'm not gonna say like we've been through trauma.
Well,
there's so many people using that word, or so many people saying like you've been through an experience, you've been through trauma. But like, dude, we were through hell. Like some of those times, like we were through hell, and I don't want to watch a TV show
For
that
sure.
kind of brings me back to that mindset.
I think a lot
but I
of-
do appreciate when you watch one and it's like.
And it like
That's
hits
exactly
it right.
that's exactly what the fuck
Well,
it was.
I think a lot of that has to do with too, like it's really hard to watch things that are your expertise. Like
yeah,
I can't watch Forge and Fire.
of course
I can't do it.
Yeah,
And you go get some legit auto mechanic, and he can't watch Pimp My Ride.
right.
Like a chef is
Yeah.
gonna have a hard time watching a chef show.
And back in
It's
those,
just the
and back in those days, I never got into cooking shows and shit because
Yeah.
that's what the fuck I do.
Yeah,
Now
for
if they're like, here's a reality show about electrical engineers, I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch that. But that's not a goddamn thing.
I can watch glass blowing all day long. Like I like those kind of shows.
Oh, dude, glass blowing.
But when I watch Forge and Fire, I've watched my friend's episode, and now I have like a shitload of friends who've won it, and I've never seen any of their episodes because it gives I don't know what that feeling is. And it's not like it's not jealousy, because there's almost everybody. Can
Yeah.
they've had 1,000 seasons, so it's not jealousy. It's not like anxiety. I don't know what it is, but it's really hard to watch. Even though I like the people on it, like I even know the
Yeah.
contestants and think they're really cool people, and I still have a really hard time.
I think my biggest problem is it's all they do too much drama in the background.
Yeah.
It's not about the fucking story. It's not about the people making the things. It's like this guy did this, and then somebody was mad at him. Find it at the
Right.
next commercial break.
Right,
And
they
then
try
you
to make
watch
it bad,
fucking
yeah.
commercials. You come back from the commercial break, and then they recap what you just fucking watched. But god damn it, just don't bore us. Get to the chorus. Like,
Yeah,
I
before-
hate that fucking build up drama of just like keep you on the edge of your seat.
Well, they do that.
And then
Before
they're like,
before the commercials, they'll show a clip of the judge be like, "Jordan, what did you do?"
yeah.
And like, stay tuned, and then they'll come back and be like, "Jordan, what did you do?" Be like, "Made a knife." Okay, great. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all fake.
exactly.
I hate that shit.
100%
I hate
exactly
that.
what that is.
me and Hannah laugh at, like, my wife Hannah, we laugh at that in the shows all the time. Like, we
Yeah.
watch, because my wife likes trash TV, and I low key love watching her shows with her, like Love Island. I could watch Love Island all the time. And they do that. Like, they build drama to where, like, they make it look like somebody's going to die when they come back.
Yeah.
But they're just a bunch of bros and babes on a beach, and they are not, there's like no actual drama. They're
Yeah.
just going to come back and make out. And it is funny how they do that, though. and it's almost so consistent that like you just see through it every time, and it's just kind of funny. Like you're like I can't wait till they come back from the commercials so we can see what didn't actually happen here.
Well, that's been the punchline forever with TV shows, right?
Yeah.
You got to have some hook to make sure you're sticking with it, or some
But they
kind of
bait
stick.
that hook too much that I lose interest. That's
Yeah.
my thing.
Yeah.
It's shameful. They
It's like, oh yeah, you can fish for a bass with a spinner minnow bait, and he might bite the first time, but then the more you keep doing it and he doesn't actually hook, he's gonna
like,
lose
you guys
interest.
are fucking losers. Quit trying this.
And
on me."
that's me. I'm the guy that loses fucking interest. I'm tired of listening to the same story again and again. Like just don't bore. I say it with songs a lot. Don't bore us. Get to the chorus. Let's go.
Documentaries lately have been really bad about that too, like the series documentaries where they tell you the same thing every single episode, but they add like 10 more minutes of information onto the
Right.
base. I hate that so bad. It makes me so. It's like episode 4 is like 20 minutes extra, like different than episode 1. You know, they start with 20 minutes of backstory, and then I hate all that shit.
I feel like with some streaming docs, they've kind of fixed that a little bit because they know you're just binging
Watching it straight through, right?
because there's no commercial breaks.
Oh, I
There's
fall for it every time, no matter what.
They'll give you a little lead up at the end of the episode, and then they come right back in. They'll give you a recap at the end of the episode, but it's not commercial break to commercial break to commercial break, and that's what pisses me off. It's like, so every 7 minutes, I got to be on the edge of my seat.
Right.
Fuck you. I'm tired
That gets
of this.
crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a problem with Forged in Fire because it's a week. It's like a week of your life. Like you're there for multiple days in the shop, and then if you're in the finals, they come to your place, right? So the prize is $10,000. You go into any of these home amateur baking shows, and it's like $50,000, and the whole competition takes 3 hours, and they're baking a cake. Forged in Fire, it's a week. They come to your shop. They destroy the sword that you make at the end. You don't get to keep it. They destroy it, and it's like $10,000. It just seems like they're like, well, these guys are disgusting hillbillies anyway. You know? So I feel like that's ridiculous.
And the biggest thing is it's all about production too. Like they show up at a door and you're like, huh. Act surprised when we're here. You know they're fucking coming. You know they're fucking coming.
I've also had a really awful...
You know they're gonna be there. There's a goddamn camera crew, and they put lights up and everything.
Cameras
Like
in the room.
you're not just like, oh my god, thank you for coming
There's
here.
a camera
yeah,
in
I'm
the
so
door.
and so.
Yeah. There's like a camera watching them come into the door.
I didn't know you were gonna be here. Here's what I do, and there's fucking lighting and makeup and
Like,
all
Jordan,
this
we're
other
about cameras
shit.
here, and here,
Yeah.
and here. But be surprised when they get here.
be
Oh,
very
you're
surprised.
here.
Yeah, reality television isn't fucking reality at all.
I also had
There's
a...
an ounce of it.
I had an encounter with Doug, the Oriental cut test guy from the show, the It Will Cut guy,
yeah,
and I hated it more than any encounter I've had in like my adult life.
yeah.
It was my least favorite 30 seconds of interaction with a human. So right there, I'm out.
Gotcha.
I'm out.
Oh, well, I got you a spot, so I don't know what we're going to do now.
Yeah, I don't know. I would also fail on national television. I for sure would. I would choke.
Dude, I don't think any of us are built for it.
No, it doesn't seem fun to me.
We could get groomed for it, but nobody. There obviously there's nobody in the background here telling us like, don't fucking.
They could easily turn me into an antagonist, like they do. Like they pick the villain of the crew, for any show.
You turn
they
into
could,
the
They
heel,
could turn
yeah.
me into the heel real easy. They'd be like, Jordan, get emotional about something. I'd be like, ah!
yeah.
Yeah, it'd suck.
Yeah, me and Cody were talking a couple episodes ago. You check them out on the back episodes. Like, what do you do if you're going to be famous? It's like, we don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Nobody's here to groom us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we're small roots.
Yeah, it would really suck. There would be things about that would suck pretty
all of a
bad.
sudden say this episode blows up and they're like, no, next episode do this different. And then like all of a sudden we have like a PR guy in the background. We have an agent now and shit. And they're telling us like, no, dude, I just want to be mean. Like, no, cause some quarry. I'm like, hey, Cody, fuck you. And like, that's good. That's good. That makes for good TV. That makes for good YouTube. That makes for good podcasts. Like,
I don't know
whatever.
if you
Fuck
remember, but the first time I came out and talked to you guys, it was right when I started working at the last place, and we had a kind of like an opportunity with a major TV producer about a
Yeah.
show.
So
And
I can't
had
remember if you
crippling anxiety about that.
Yeah, I can't remember. I feel like you told us that off camera.
Yeah, I did because I wasn't supposed to talk about it.
Right.
And-
we didn't say it on that podcast.
And I think it was chalked up to be more than it actually was.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there's always hype.
But the hype was real. It was hyped up pretty strongly. And I was going to have a stroke. I haven't been that miserable for 2 weeks in a long time. Like, it was crazy stressful. I was like, what did I search for in 2014 on Google? Like, it was probably pretty bad.
Well, because if I'm being honest, like that, you could go back into our backlog, find that episode you were on. We were talking. We had a normal conversation. And then when the camera shut off, you were like, hey, guys, guess what? Mm-hmm. By the way. And I could see you went from like normal, just, hey, I'm hanging out in your podcast to this shit's going down.
Yeah, well, the concept was like intense and like the whole it was portrayed as like a this is probably gonna happen thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, holy shit.
And I'm not gonna name drop for you, but you said some names and shit, and we're like, holy fuck, bro. Yeah,
it was like hooked up,
shit.
And I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Like they're all gonna find out about my demons. You know.
And now I was on a podcast with these fucking derelicts. Yes. Like everything's going to shit.
Yes.
Maybe that's why that deal never happened because they saw you with us.
They probably did. They looked into like he said questionable things about female fighters.
They found a damn good time podcast. And they're like, oh, it's over.
Because we were talking about how sexy female fighters were.
Yeah,
and Cody's like, we should scrap that. Like, no, we're
yes. Oh, that was funny, dude. Yeah, we had a whole thing there.
Exactly what that episode was.
Yes.
Yeah,
those bitches are all beautiful.
Yeah, that's why you never got that deal. That's why you never got that deal.
Yep.
Because we were lusting over Rose Namagunas.
It's probably good.
Yeah.
Probably good.
But hey, man, let's fast forward to today. You've got your own shop.
Yes.
I
don't have a name for my shop, though, and I would like one. I don't want to like...
well, your brand is Chumney Knives.
Yes, correct.
But you don't have...
I don't want it to be Chumney Knives Forge. Because really, you know... Here's another thing to take into consideration, and maybe I'm just like being a little picky here, but like when you think about forging a knife, you're thinking about like a blacksmith with a hammer and an anvil. I'm less of a blacksmith, more of a stock removal guy. I like to like instead of forging something to shape, I like to design something, template it, and cut it out to shape and grind it to shape. And I do forge things, and I make my own Damascus. But it's not really a forge. This is a machine shop essentially, right?
Right.
So I don't want it to be like Chumney Forge. I want it to be like, but I also don't want to like make myself think. I want something to come naturally, something that's good.
So okay, let's rewind back. Let's talk on that a little bit. Like, so you don't want to be a forge, as in like you're not the forge guy that forges Damascus to shop out to other people. You're doing your own thing.
Well, okay, all right.
Or you get in some stock and you mold it into the knife.
Let's break this down. A knife is a shape of steel, right?
Yeah.
So to make a shape of steel, you can either start with a chunk of steel and hammer it to that shape,
right,
into that thickness and all that stuff, which is really cool. And some people do it really well. And I would love to develop those skills over time as well. And I have some of them, but not enough to be efficient at it. But you can either do that, or let's say you want to make a 150 thou thick hunting knife. You just get some steel that's the right thickness, or a little bit thicker, and then surface grind it out. You know, let's say I want to make an 1/8 inch thick hunting knife. I get 1/8 inch thick homogenized steel that's a known hardness or a known alloy, and it's annealed, and it's at a.
So you buy the stock then.
Yes, and then I'll draw exactly what I want.
And then shape it into your...
Stencil that onto the steel, cut it out exactly, instead of hammering it to shape. Because for me, I like a clean surface anyway. So if I'm going to hammer something to shape and then just grind that whole surface clean anyway, there's just no reason to do it. Now, you do save a little bit of steel because you can, instead of cutting stuff away, you take that steel and make it into other parts of the knife, essentially, if you're forging it. And I do that sometimes. If I'm working with Damascus that has a pattern that should follow the shape of the blade, I will shape the blade out, and I'll like taper the tang, and that. There are times that it's necessary, but I'm not as much of a blacksmith as I am a knife machinist, essentially.
So basically, like
a manual machinist.
Let's break it down to if you were a chef.
Yes.
You're not raising the cattle; you're preparing the cattle.
I guess you could. I guess that's it.
You're getting a stock. You're turning that steak into a meal.
But you're still making.
I'm just
Damascus,
but
yeah. No,
but you have the ability to raise the cattle. You have the ability to.
Yeah, it's just not what I do every time. Yeah.
You have the ability to make your own Damascus,
right.
Form it the way you want.
And right now I'm working with mostly stainless steels anyway. So like you don't usually forge a stainless steel tactical knife. It just doesn't make sense. A lot of times, like when you see forged knives, you see like forged finished knives with like the actual like the forged texturing and the mill scale and everything on them. A lot of times it's chef knives, something that's just flat on the sides. But once you start putting in fullers and all kind, little details and stuff, I like the looks of a clean knife anyway. So if I forge something to shape, I'm still going to put it on my surface grinder. I'm going to take all down to clean steel.
Yeah.
So there's just no reason for me to beat something to shape.
Right.
You're essentially fucking up a bunch of steel to make it perfect again.
But you have the ability.
I have the ability to. Yes, yeah. And I do want to focus on that more in the future. Right now, though, I'm really enjoying learning, getting good with my tools, getting good at grinding. Like I said, I've been doing it for a decade. But if you really try to learn, you can learn every single day. Even if you're using the same tool every day. Every time I grind a knife, I change something or I adjust something small. And
that's the fun part of the trade is you always learn everything.
Yeah, no, it's fun, and there's a lot of metallurgy in what I do. I have the 2 kilns over there, and like I'm using liquid nitrogen for cryogenic treatments. I'm tempering steel. I have hardness testers, so like you get a little bit of like science class labby stuff. It's kind of fun. You get woodworking for handles. You get really cool materials because knife handles are small, so you can use any kind of exotic materials. I mean, some of the materials I've used are, and all knife makers use. It's not just me. Woolly mammoth tusk, meteorite, dinosaur gembone.
I was just gonna say,
you can use everything.
All those exotic materials and shit, and you have like little bands of them in there,
right? And even like the wood we use. If you got a dresser made of the shit I use for a knife handle, it would cost you $10,000,
right?
In material,
right?
So. But since we're using a 4-inch piece, a 1/4 inch thick, you can use about anything. So that's really fun. And then you get metalworking, woodworking, design, ergonomics. All those things are things that I like. I don't do anything. I don't actually machine anything. I don't use jigs or fixtures or any kind of automated tooling. So I still get, and I've always been like a weapons lover. Like I always like even when I was a kid. I would like take a hatchet and put a different handle on it, and then like weld a ball hitch to the bottom of it for a skull basher or whatever. But then I would also go inside and draw pretty pictures. So this is like my ability, like my chance to like put pretty with awesome.
Yeah, and I would even equate it to like dumb shit. Like I used to do in the oil field. We get a fucking sledgehammer. It's like, well, I'm gonna take a grinder and
clean it up a little bit. Yeah.
Well, not even clean it up, but put finger grips in it.
Oh yeah, cool.
Dumb shit like that, and it starts with that, and then it equates, and then it builds up to like, hey, why not build this beautiful ergonomic knife that actually fits in a fucking hand, maybe my size, and maybe kind of mill it out a little bit for other people's sizes and shit, and like,
and I'm a detail oriented person, and let's think about a knife. So like. Knives have been around since like the wedge. Like a knife is the most simple of simple machines.
Right.
Everybody has 1,000 of them, and there's obviously every knife's a little bit different, but there's like 20 styles of knives if you count for combat stuff like swords. There's not like when you think.
I'm thinking knife, chef, pocket, and dagger. Right. That's all I think of.
When you think of an 8-inch chef, you see what an 8-inch chef looks like.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of stuff you can do with an 8-inch chef knife. So like the minute details that each knife maker like focuses on and hones in are like it's very small differences that make a big world of difference. So like I really like that chase of like I've been working on the same handle style for hunting knives for a few years, but every couple months I change something just like a tiny itsy bit. And now if you look at one from 3 years ago compared to one of these on the table, they're a whole different thing. But it's just like a really slow transformation and metamorphosis to where it ends up. And through that, like it's just, I developed this new skill. I can add this into it now.
Right.
Or I got this tool. I can add this into it now.
Yeah. And that's what, we've talked about this in the past before. Because, we worked together at the restaurant. We worked together at Survey. And I probably seen one of the first knives you ever made.
Yeah, you did.
Out of
I still have an OG one,
a railroad spike.
Yeah, you definitely saw the first knife I made.
Yeah, and now we're to this level.
Right.
And I always told you because your artistry has just been amazing. Your tattoos that you've done on yourself, your drawings, everything you've ever done, just been incredible. And I'm like, Oh, now he's dedicating knives. See ya. Like it's done. It's over. It's
Dude,
good.
I think about how much things have changed since I started tinkering with knives in my mom's garage. And like my first grinder was like $110 from Lowe's, and I felt really guilty about buying it. And when I got it, I was like, holy shit, I can grind a knife now. Like I had it on a pedestal, and I thought, I was like, man, only cost me $130. I got into, it was a little bit of an investment, but I can grind a knife now. Flash forward to now, and it's like I have a couple really, really, Like, and that's a pretty simple tool. I mean, for as far as presses go. But yeah, never thought I'd have that. I never thought I'd have a couple really premium grinders. Never thought I'd have a couple really big kilns. And honestly, the tools part is like my favorite part about it. Yeah. Like every time I get a new tool, I'm like, oh fuck. Yeah.
Oh. And actually, I have a quick question for you. Mm-hmm. Like kind of rewinding back to where Cody said, like, because you've done a lot of my tattoos are your work. I know even back in high school and stuff, you were in art class. You did artistry and stuff. Like, what do you have? Do you remember when you first started to learn? Like art stuff, you know what I mean?
I was like a kid artist. This is gonna sound so fucking gay, but I was on like that gifted list as like a kindergartner.
Okay,
art. And so I was like
I believe it.
I was like an early developer on art.
Yeah.
So I always in my head
you just knew how to shade, and everybody else is like drawing
exactly.
Drawing a house
never
with the sun in the corner, and you're like, well, there's shade.
I contest that I was never really that talented, but my mom was a teacher and like knew how to like enroll me in things.
Oh,
I have no idea.
She saw the signs, you know.
But I was good for a kid, and so from that, I was always told I was an artist. And just like my daughter, I always tell her, "Oh, you're such a good artist," and she is. She's like, Ruby is elevated. But I was always told I was an artist. So my mom, that's like I started identifying as an artist. And then honestly, like in high school, I wasn't a good artist. Like when it came to like sitting down and like sketching something, I wasn't good at. I was a photocopier. I could look at something and draw it like really well. But that's not in my book like being an artist. That's being that's also like a part of like the more mechanical part of my brain. Like you can sit there and make sense of angles and make sense of lines, and you know what I mean, and just replicate something. But
easy copy paste kind of, but not necessarily creative.
Right. I have good techniques and good stuff, but I couldn't sit there and be like, this is my brain. This is what my brain's saying right now.
You see, the thing is, and I'll equate that to whenever I was working in kitchens, when I come up with special, there was no flavor composition that never has been done before. I'm just doing it. I'm executing it better.
Right.
So I do believe that we're at a space and time where there's nothing new you can come up with.
Right.
You know, you're not going to break a brand new knife that nobody's ever seen. Right. You're not going to draw a brand new picture that nobody's ever, maybe a little bit.
That's why I don't get bitter about like it's not that if I see something and I think like, I could tell they were looking at one of my knives when they made that knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit. There's only like, how much can you do?
Because you were looking at somebody else's when you made yours.
Everything that I do on a knife, I've seen at least something like it done on some other knife.
And it's all about the execution.
And honestly, like when I have at my last job, we had apprentices sometimes, and like the last one, Daniel, he'd be like, I don't know what knife to make next, and I'd be like, just use that stencil right there. He's like, do you care if I use one of your shapes? I'm like, dude, it is a shape.
Yeah.
I guarantee you can't make that knife the way I make a knife.
Like, I'm not going to call this.
I love Daniel, but he can't.
Yeah.
He can take that shape and he can do stuff to it.
And just like.
It's not going to look like Chumney.
And just like, I'm not going to call this guy out. He's been on our podcast before. He's a musician. Very good musician. He makes really good music. But I told him, like, there's nothing that you're really doing that's original. You're just arranging it in a different. You're executing it better. We're at that state and age of where everything's been done. Everything's been done, and the challenge is to execute it better.
Right. Yeah, that's it. And honestly, like, I honestly think I'm to a point now where I can pick one of my knives out of obviously I can, but a lot of people could notice a Chumney, that looks like I made it. But that took like a shitload of time to have like my own identity in a knife,
Right.
And the things that make it look like I made it are very minute, like it's itsy bitsy things.
Yeah.
But so there are people that I think are like crazy creative on knives. There's some really nuts stuff out there.
Just like right now, if me, you, and Cody, you give us the same blueprint
right,
of a knife, yours is going to be better.
right.
Mine's going to be better than Cody's. And
then if we all have to smoke a biscuit.
I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, but yeah, no, you say that. No, that's 100% true. Not that
Maybe
mine's gonna be
not
the worst, but
ours,
not better,
yeah,
not worse or
ours,
better, but different.
Ours
different.
would probably tie or be different. Yours could be better than mine.
if you give everybody a list of ingredients and say we're gonna make this dish, make it. Everybody's gonna make it different.
Yeah.
So,
No,
like,
you give us
it's
a
not-
blueprint
it's-
of what the knife
does
should
not
be.
matter. So
Right, it's like pages out of a coloring book. Everybody's gonna.
We could all do the same fucking thing, and we're all going to come out with different outcomes.
Right.
It's more about and that's where the creativity, that's where the artistry comes through. Is like, and like I said, I hate to dwell on the part that everyth's been done before, but it's all about the execution. That's where you shine
I literally
through as an
make
artist.
the oldest tool on the planet. Is what I make.
Yeah.
In 2024, I'm making the first kind of tool that people used, and so like that you literally aren't. You can do. There are. It's amazing. You'll see some crazy stuff in our community that people are doing that's being done for the first time right now. But as far as a basic hunting knife, it's been done. Bazillion times.
Yeah.
A trillion times over. Guarantee. I mean, I guarantee you can find a almost identical knife to that somewhere in history.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe
Yeah,
slight differences, but yeah, that's what I like about it is the pursuit of that 1% of difference.
Why is mine a little bit better? Why is
Right.
my execution better?
And then you see some people like, I like making a small batch of knives every week. Some people like to make one knife for 6 months,
Yeah.
and those people are psychotic. And when you look at their
Sure,
products, it's like a $80,000 sword, and they sat there and worked on like doming one pin for 3 days, or like made steel for a month,
Right.
So that kind of stuff. There are levels to that, and
Right.
that's the extreme. But you have to first find somebody who says, "I'll give you $80,000 to take the next 6 months of your life and make me a masterpiece."
Yeah.
Right.
But there's really cool levels to it. I honestly, in the past, I thought that I wanted to be an art knife guy. I thought I wanted to make the really expensive, like fancy stuff.
Yeah.
But I really, really enjoy lately making like mid range price wise, nothing too crazy, but still premium. Practical knives, like hunting knives, kitchen knives. I used to only make carbon steel blades, so they're really good knife steel, but it would rust if you leave it wet. I'm really tired of that, so now I'm trying to focus on stainless steels. But with stainless steels comes its own whole set of knowledge and differences.
Well, it's like any other artist does, and I don't mean to like pull you back to any other artist. It's like whenever I was a chef, sure, I'd love to do my specials, but I gotta give you a fucking burger, and I gotta give you some beer
The
battered
shit that
fish.
people are gonna buy.
Here's a fucking turkey
Yeah.
wrap, but guess what? Here's my dope special. Like you gotta, if you wanna. There's a difference between a starving artist and then
Right.
a thriving artist.
I would like to pay my bills with practical knives.
Yeah.
And then whenever I can afford to make a stupid knife.
But I will say they're probably not even practical knives. They're the better end of the practical.
Yeah, they're
knives.
not. You're spending gun money.
Yeah.
On a simple knife. So
Yeah.
like I tell people, like, even when I was making knives out of carbon steel that would rust, people would say, "How do I maintain this? This $600 hunting knife." Well, you treat it like it's a $600 gun, and you're fine.
Yeah.
If you take your gun and you pulverize some raw chicken with it, you don't just like leave it covered in raw chicken. You wipe it off and you put some oil on it.
You got to clean it.
This costs as much as your kimber. So whenever you get something on it, you wipe it off and you're good.
If you go out in the yard and shove that gun up a bunch of chicken asses, and
Right.
you're shooting and shooting and shooting.
So yeah, they are.
You tear apart your
better
gun. You
clean
see
it.
some weird wear points. You
Yes.
buff them down.
Right. So
you resharpen or rebuff the wear points in the gun,
oil it up,
just like a regular fucking knife. Like,
so
dude,
they're definitely not on the like when I say practical. Yeah, they're more expensive, but honestly, if you're a hunter, your knife is just as important as your gun. The guy I used to work with mentioned this a couple months ago, and I thought it was really fascinating. If you look back at like the catalogs from like the 1910s and 1920s, and you see like a Colt single or like a revolver,
yeah,
it's like 1745, and then right beside it there's a hunting knife for like 1650.
yeah,
Like in the past, knives were just as important as guns.
right.
You use them for fucking everything,
if not more. Yeah.
So like if you're a real deal hunter and you have a $1,500 compound bow and you have a $400 feeder setup and a $200 camera, it might make sense to spend $450 on a really nice hunting knife, because once a bow and arrow is really cool, but it shoots one arrow, right? That when you kill your deer, you bought your bow for that moment right there, and that's awesome, and it's worth every penny. But processing the deer is just as important as shooting it. And if you don't have a sharp knife, that shit can suck too. So I used to think, like, when I bought my first nice knife, I like choked down $110 and was like, I can't believe I'm spending $110 on a pocket knife.
Right.
And that's not even a nice knife,
No.
So, but like, I get it. Like I've had people hit me up and be like, hey, I need a birthday present for my husband. It's next month, and I can spend like $75.
Yeah,
and I
go to Walmart.
It hurts when I hear that, because I don't want to be mean, because they don't like.
Right.
If I wasn't a custom knife maker, I wouldn't understand that either. I would just be like, oh, expensive knives are $80, cheap knives are $5. I do not know how they make any knife for like $25.
It's mass production.
I have $25 knives that are nicer than like a lot of things I can make.
Well, and it's crazy. You see some of those photos. What is it? Cricket.
Well, there's Rough Rider. They could sell them for like $4, and I have multiple Rough Riders, and they're nice ass knives. CRKT is Columbia River knife trading. CRKT.
Yeah,
that's what you're thinking of.
I always called it cricket.
Columbia River
knife something.
Traders, or something like that.
And I know I got one of those through my brother when he got out of the military. It was like $120 fucking flip knife, and it's just like any other fucking flip knife.
CRKTs, they make like $25 and $45 ones too that are actually nice knives. And the cool thing is, once you know the things that make a nice knife, you can buy nice budget knives, because really, like, the only things that matter is the steel hardness, the steel type, and like the action. So I have a hardness tester, and I have a really nice Microtech out the front, super fancy knife, and I have $25 CRKTs, and the hardness on the steel is within a half a point of the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you want? Do you want a fancy, like, don't get me wrong, I love fancy shit, and I pay for names. I pay for cool stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you're just using a pocket knife, my daily carry is just as good as my expensive knife. It's just not as expensive.
And that's the kind of point I was trying to get at is, like, yeah, you could spend this much on that. You could spend this much on whatever, but you could spend this much on these that make a fucking statement. It's like, this is
right.
And we're living in a day and age where clout makes it different. And, and I'm not trying to, subsidize you at all or anything like that. But, like, fuck, dude, you're an artist. You have these fucking dope ass knives, and it's like, why would you pay for the same thing that anybody else could get instead of getting a one-off for the same price, for the same quality, if not better quality, and they look amazing, like some of those. Like, and I'm for people watching, I'm pointing to those. For people listening, he's got a spread of knives.
You can just go to my social media or my website too and look at. I have pictures all over the internet.
Yeah, dude, they're so dope.
Chumney knives on everything.
There's 2 knives on here if you're not watching the video that if you join his email list, he is giving away for free. So
I am giving away 2.
Will recommend you get on that goddamn email list. I feel bad because I'm not on the email list for some reason.
What the fuck?
I know. I will be on it by tomorrow.
You have to be on it by Sunday because you could get a free knife.
Yeah.
The odds are actually pretty good.
I don't want it. I don't. If
you've gambled on dumber shit.
Yeah, I know. But if you give it to me, I'm gonna like.
That's stupid.
I have to give it to somebody else.
That's really stupid.
All right, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, when you first launched your website and your whole, what you had like 6 knives come up, and within 24 hours they were all gone, right?
The last batch was 4 knives, and they sold in about it was like less than an hour.
And you had like that one big dope.
That big one held on. That one finally sold. But the problem is just like you can justify buying a nice hunting knife.
Yeah,
It's really hard to justify buying a knife that is literally just designed to like
for fun,
fight people.
just for fun. You know what I mean? Like,
It's for cutting
display
people's
knife.
hands off.
It's a display knife, right?
No, it was. I mean,
in a way. But
in a
I
way,
mean,
in a
I mean,
way,
you can utilize it.
It's a swag knife. You put it on your bag. You put it on your rucksack.
you
It's
could
cool
use
as
it for
shit.
something.
You could use it as a machete. You could use it for a limb lobber.
You're doing heavy butchering, something
But
like that.
But just to have it for
it's
fun.
just like having an AR pistol. That one moment that you need it
Right.
and you have it. Holy shit! Are you?
Yeah,
the
nobody
king.
ever needs an AR pistol.
No, but
If you ever did,
if the helicopters come,
once that boat takes down the bridge and you're
Right.
stuck,
Yeah.
you're stuck in Baltimore. All of a sudden,
yeah, if you need it, you need it.
you need some purpose built
And
shit.
if you get into a jungle knife fight with somebody and they pull out like a knife and they're like, oh, I got this 10-inch knife, and you pull out a 16-inch jungle kukri out of like super steel.
yeah,
Oh, dude, you win that fight.
fight's over.
That guy's
Fight's
running away.
over.
Done.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool. So,
There
but
won't even be a fight. They see that.
oh, it's done.
They walk away.
There are people though. It's crazy because like I would never buy that knife. I love the knife. It's worth every penny I charged for it because it took a long time to make. But it's like there are people who are happy to buy that kind of stuff. There are people who would much rather spend twice as much money on something they'll never use than half as much money on something that they could carry with them every day.
Right. Well, and I will say that
Bless those people.
when they buy your pieces, it's not necessarily they're buying a knife, they're buying an art piece. They're buying
Right.
you know, that's what sets your
Yeah. The person who bought that knife wasn't like, oh, cool, now I can go chop down the bush in my backyard.
Yeah,
they're
because
like, oh, cool, I finally have that knife.
yeah, they could have easily bought that exact same knife, that exact same model from some other
Right.
mass-produced piece of shit that doesn't look as good, that doesn't feel as good, and doesn't cut as good, and doesn't last as good. And that's I feel like that's where you stand out at, like, and that's why I say where art does make a difference. Like, I could go get a fucking steak from Texas Roadhouse any day, but I can get the same steak from another place that executes it better.
Yeah.
It's all about the execution, and that's where I feel
Speaking
like
of which, dude, Kraft. Sarah, I think of Sarah with Kraft.
yeah, my wife.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Every time I get food there, it's so fucking good. I love it so much.
They do a very good job.
And that's the exact same thing. You take a piece of meat there versus a piece of meat. I mean, I'm not going to say the Texas Roadhouse because the Texas Roadhouse.
And real quick, he's
murders every
talking
time.
about Craft Bistro in Philly, where my wife works. where-
Yummy. I can't afford you, but once in a while, you kick ass.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, every
Great
once in a while.
food, great food.
If you can justify a fancy dinner in Tuscarawas County, that is, in my opinion,
And like I said, and once again, it's not like he's doing. Well, he does do some different shit outside of the box, but,
right, but a steak is just seasoning, temperature, and a piece of meat.
But their execution is perfect.
Right, they're using better meat.
Yeah.
They're cooking it right, but it is cooked right. The pork chops. Every time I've eaten there, I get pork chops because it's like that thing that's like not the cheapest thing on the menu, but it's not a $90 Kobe steak or something, you know?
Yeah.
So like I always get the pork chop, and it's always fucking
Perfect.
dank, dude.
Because
Fucking
the
dank.
execution is
And
the
that sexy wife of yours comes over and delivers it to me.
yeah.
Last time she announced 2 specials, I bought them both. I said, "Damn girl, you're
She's a very
charming."
good saleswoman.
Very charming.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But yeah, it's just dumb shit like that where the craft, where the artistry, where that shines through, where you can get it anywhere else. You can get. There's nothing we're doing. Just like it's this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You could listen to the same fucking podcast anywhere else, but I feel like we're executing it better.
It may not have the utility. It might not have the utility that you're looking for, but it's pretty damn awesome. That's why I want it, and it's a damn good time. Awesome.
It's a damn
It
good
is,
time for
you know?
sure.
So
It
it's a
is.
damn good time. That guy owns that knife now, and he's like, or that woman. So it could be anybody.
Could
whatever.
be. It's usually guys.
And they're flexing it off, and they're showing it. They're carrying it with them when they go. It's not like they bought to go like, oh, I got a bamboo farm behind me. I need to go cut a bunch of that down. No.
Right.
It's so you can flex a little bit. But hey, you know what? Sometimes that's good. And then you have your utility.
Right.
You can see some of these in front of us. They're hunting knives and stuff like that. But most of the time, people like to buy cool shit.
People like cool shit. How many 9mm do you need? They all shoot the same bullet.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you want to even delve into the prepper situation, buy a 9mm because that's everybody has that ammo laying around if you want to scavenge. Okay. All right. So
we talked a lot about knives and all of the Chumney assortments. And if you don't already, make sure you get to his socials. Go to Chumney Knives. What you said on Instagram, you had to type in the whole damn thing, right?
On Instagram, I am restricted. I'm a weapons manufacturer.
He's a weapons dealer.
Yeah.
So you won't find me until you type in the entire thing, Chumney Knives. It's Chumney's like chimney with a U.
Do you have an email?
It's Jordan at chumneyknives.co. COM has been taken hostage by somebody who, I don't know, swiped up my domain.
Not as cool as you.
Oh, that might have been me.
Yeah. I'm sure it happened at that Rogan thing. Yeah. I'm sure.
Either way, I'll put a graphic up here for you.
Go check out the storefront. If there's anything in there,
join the email list. Like I said,
buy the mailing. Yes,
he's giving away 2 free knives. So.
Mailing list gets all kinds of benefits, discount codes, and early heads ups on releases, etc.
All that cool shit.
All that cool stuff.
Awesome.
But I want to move on to.
Wait. First off, you're forgetting something.
Your birthday?
I just had a birthday.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, that's fine. We won't talk about it.
39? How old are you?
I'm 39 now, yeah.
You see, the thing is, you didn't let me get there. I was going to say that.
I think you were going a different route.
No, this dude just had a birthday.
So I got to go down to Mountaineer Casino nearby us.
I grew up there.
And I was like, you know what? I'm determined to play some slots. I fucking hate slots.
Yeah, the
slots are the devil.
I hate slots so bad. I can't ever hit a bonus. I can't ever hit a lick.
Yeah.
Ever. And I'm like, I'm going to take, a few $100. I'm going to shove it in the slots. And like, I'm bound to determine. Didn't happen.
Dude, Mountaineer, since my dad was a farrier, we always had racehorse stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so we were down, when I was a kid, we were down there like a weekend out every month. And that whole time, my dad's dealing with the horse stuff. My mom's with him. And me and my brothers are running around the grandstands. Like, I don't know if somebody's not familiar with the horse racing grandstand. It is a cesspit of gambling, nicotine, and shitty food. It's disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible.
It is,
Yeah.
and especially
I love it.
Mountaineer, West Virginia, is a disgusting cesspit of a
That's why, like
grandstand.
most TV shows or movies, they depict my dad hung out at the track.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Well,
No, I would go up to the above grandstand where like it was depressing because like you look at the mall now and it's like vacant. The like above viewing grandstand was always empty. There were like 1,000 seats and like it was awesome indoor bleachers, TVs everywhere, 1,000 TVs, 2 people in there, and it was like me and like another kid watching Mortal Kombat in 1997.
Yeah.
So the obligation for them to have a casino there, they have to have a racetrack.
Right.
And Mountaineer is like one of those racetracks where horses go to die.
Horses go to die.
Yeah, they basically have the worst horses you'll
That's their
ever
last
see.
leg of the race.
It's like they're done. Maybe they did okay, or maybe they just never made it. They're not good enough.
close to the Preakness, and now like
My brother's a
send
really
him-
high
send
grade
him there.
racehorse breeder, and he does not race at Mountaineer.
No, you do not race a Mountaineer
not
unless
race
it's just like. I feel like it's just a bunch of old skeezy men that own
It
horses.
is a
They're like,
disgusting place.
I
yeah.
bought this horse for $1,000.
Yeah, it's like
I'm gonna
$2,000
race him.
purses.
Yeah.
It's
their
gross.
last step to glue
But I love betting.
or dog food.
Oh, it's fun to bet.
I love betting
bet
those
on
horses.
colors. Bet on
Yeah.
colors and names.
Yeah, you don't.
Dixie's little 2-foot shiner or something
Yeah.
like that. You know.
If it's raining that day, like I always look for like me and my buddy. My buddy's super into horse racing. Eric Wheeler's been on the show before, and I'm like, who's the slop dog? Who's the guy that loves to run in the mud?
The mutter.
And that was always my favorite. And there was one. His name was it was Jack, my son's name. I can't remember the rest of his name, but I'm like,
Be nimble.
oh, if he's on and it's muddy,
It was
Right,
probably
Jack
be
Adams.
nimble.
he's automatic. He was automatic, and I love that so much. But yeah, I went there, lost the slots so bad.
Yeah.
But then I sat down at the blackjack table,
Slots are never good.
where I belong, at the blackjack table or the craps. I'm still intimidated by the craps table. I got to work up to that.
Yeah, crap still makes no sense.
It
And
makes
you
all,
have
I know all of it.
yeah, and
but-
I know you have a very firm grasp on it.
Yeah.
And anytime we've gone to craps tables together, you're like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this.
Yeah.
And like most of the time, like, oh, that kind of paid out, that kind of paid out, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that didn't pay it out.
You
So it's
just
like,
lose it all. Yeah. No, it's.
so you know what's going on more than I do for sure.
It's just hard for me to go to a table because it's always packed and like I'm like I don't want to like awkwardly bet.
You could make me walk up to a table at a casino.
I hate it's so
But,
awkward.
No, penny slots for me, baby.
Way too much anxiety.
Blackjack table I'm good at.
Yeah.
Because I know the blackjack
yeah.
rules because there's a set of plans or rules you go by and the dealers will tell you too.
Yeah.
Like, they'll be like, you sure you want to hit that? You're like, yes. Because like they're
Well,
basically
a
saying
good
you don't
dealer.
wanna-
A
yeah.
good dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have a shit
have
dealer and you're like,
casino
yeah, do it.
anxiety. I have casino anxiety like I have strip club anxiety. Like I don't want to lap dance. I don't want to go to
Jesus Christ, I have strip club anxiety too. I would love to just go into a strip club, hang out at the bar, and not talk to anyone. That's all I want.
Yeah, I've never had one good strip club experience. I've had various horrible strip club experiences. I had one decent one, but it was just because nothing happened. Like my favorite strip club experience consists of no lap jobs. Holy shit! Whoa, that's heavy.
No lab jobs. That sounds right. Yeah.
Well, honestly, a lap job be sick, but no lap dances. No, like literally, I'm the kind of guy that like tries to butter up, like friend up to like the shot server. You know, no lap jobs. That's awesome, dude.
I love that.
If I could pick one thing to actually go pay for, it would be a lap job. So.
Lap shop.
I've been to a few strip clubs in my life. I don't ever seek them out or like try to go to them.
You just
There's
gotta
been like one or two occasions where I'm like, let's go strip club, the Northern Hasbro.
You got a
or
glimpse
whatever.
into my browser history just now.
Lap jobs.
Lap jobs. They are up there. That is my. Those keys are worn down.
But I know what you're saying. Like I don't.
Yeah, I hate it.
I would never buy myself lap dance. I'd buy friends lap dance.
I don't want to go
like
there
that,
for
but-
being horny. I don't. I can go there for the party. That's great. But like, I don't
Right.
want to see my friends or my partner be hornied up by some stripper. I just don't. I don't get off to it. Don't like it.
Well, my biggest thing is I don't want to pay fucking money for that.
Absolutely not. No.
I can find that on your internet for free.
My wife is far more attractive to me than any of those nasty hussies.
course,
You know.
of
But
Yeah, and I don't need a little bump and grind. Is not going to get me.
My,
I mean,
my biggest
it
thing.
depends. Yeah,
I'll
put
tell you
that
this-
to the test.
I'll tell you this much right here. My biggest thing is I'm an attention whore.
yeah.
I feel like that's out there.
Yeah.
Everybody knows I'm an attention whore. All I want is for strippers to come up to me like, hey, you're cute. I'm like,
I want to give you a lap job.
yeah, I want to give you a lap job, and and then I'd be like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm married. Like there's a
And then go home and think about it.
yeah. Like it's
I understand.
It turns me on to turn you down if that makes sense.
To
you
have
know?
you want the option.
Yeah.
I want the option.
But the thing is, in that scenario, it's too fake. You know, like,
yeah.
you don't really want to give me a lap job. Like, you know, you don't really think I'm hot or anything.
lap
like,
jobs rock,
yeah.
dude. That's sick.
Yeah, dude. I feel like I need a T-shirt that just says lap job.
So I thought about getting knife merchandise, some T-shirts made that are like grinding and edging since 2024 or something like that.
Dude.
I really want to use edging humor because
that's
honestly,
hilarious. Yeah, I love that.
Low key, I'm a edging connoisseur, so I would love to have an edging T-shirt of some kind.
Bro, and I've been trying to figure out a way to make edging a funny joke, like
Anything about edging is a funny joke.
because in my cul-de-sac in my little area, I edge my sidewalk, my landscaping. I do a good, crisp, clean edge, and I hate it. Edging sucks.
Yeah.
Just like the sexual edging sucks. And
Edging sucks.
I've always been trying to figure out
What?
edging sucks.
That's all I want
You want to edge?
for the rest of my life.
But I mean like sexually?
yeah, for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Back it around a little bit.
No. Dude,
I'm
like
all
a-
about the build-up, baby.
Hey, and like I said, don't bore us. Get to the chorus, dude.
Oh, see, I'm different.
Just get it over. With. Like, let's go.
Now, let's be
you gotta
clear.
have some fun.
Let's be clear. I am totally cool with the conventional things.
Yeah, get to the chorus.
Yeah,
Whatever.
But if you also want to have like a ridiculous intro for like 3 days straight, I'm down.
3 days?
Not
Get out of town.
Listen,
3 hours.
That's never happened in my adult life. Just so you know. Yeah,
I'm talking like
30 minutes. You know,
I'm talking 30 seconds. You can edge me 30 seconds and then just
Let's
fucking
go
get out of town.
10,
here. Let's
15
finish
minutes.
strong.
listen, I'm thinking that like that teenage evening thing where it's like the build up for like the whole night. You know,
Yeah, and that girl that didn't know how to give you a hand job at all, and she's just like tugging on.
yes, yes.
You're like, no, you better stop. And she's like,
Those were the best ones.
I know what I'm doing. I'm like, no, you don't.
But yeah, we're on the same page.
So is that really edging?
No,
In a way.
no.
In a way.
Listen, I don't want to get too deep. I don't want to act like I'm some kind of edging freak. Okay, I just want some edging merch. Listen,
I think what Cody's talking about is the inadvertent edging that we all got susceptible to. Like,
you're talking about just blue balls. You're just talking about getting horny for a night.
Yeah, that's what I
Well,
mean.
lap dancing is like intro edging.
I'm talking about you're with your loved one right now. We're all married.
Yeah.
yeah.
And how cool is that to sit there and be like, just keep me on the edge for the next 15, 20,
pretty awesome.
30,
If I
40.
could convince Hannah into that kind of thing, it would the concept itself would drive me insane.
Uh-uh.
No, I'm down. I'm down. Like, I'm totally down for that because it's like, that's just a lot of fun. you
Yeah.
know? It's just like, oh, you're like, oh, whoa, whoa.
Dude,
you know?
sometimes when my family goes on vacation, I might edge myself for 2 days.
What?
3 days.
What? You'll get there and then stop? You have way better self-control than me, my man.
You know, it's just something about it. It's naughty.
All right. He makes an omelet.
Again, I just want edging merchandise. I don't care about the edging details.
Sorry, folks.
Sorry, Mom. Sorry,
We got
Hannah.
weird.
No,
We went to a weird place there.
That
but-
could make a dope-ass T-shirt.
My relationship is extremely conventional, very straightforward, normal.
Dude, I would wear a... All I do is pounding and edging.
Pounding and edging, dude. Beat it and edge it.
Yeah, dude.
Beat it.
I'm already wearing one of yours.
I mean, I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. You got a good idea.
And
there.
then, but just like classy art, like a nice scripty.
But make sure you got a guy like
with a
making
knife
knives
on
and
it.
and then
stuff.
just
Yeah.
says edging since 2024.
Yeah, dude.
Professional edger.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Professional
We got
edger.
to trademark this quick. We
Yeah.
got to trademark this quick. Let's
Yeah.
get trademark this shit.
Hardcore grinding since 2024.
It's a little bit of a niche market, but I think there's
I
not
like
people.
it. It'll
There's
sell
not
at
people.
shows. It'll sell at knife shows.
Oh, yeah.
I like hardcore grinding. That works really good.
Dude, that's good. Yeah, because
Grinding and edging is really funny.
anyone
Yeah.
on anyone in our age group, us millennials or whatever,
We'll chuckle at that. Yeah.
whatever the fuck you want to call us,
Yeah.
remembers back in 8th grade dance when we were doing hardcore grinding.
That's what I'm saying. That's edging. That is edging. That is
Yeah.
That wasn't edging.
That is puberty edging. Yes, it is. You went home and released your pressures for sure.
So edging to me is when you get there.
Oh, and then,
then
like,
you
cut it off.
Stop.
No, that doesn't happen for me.
That's
I don't
that's
have-
some more.
That's for real.
I'm not
real.
talking about intentional edging. I just like being horny for 2 days.
yeah.
Yes.
Go to a strip club.
Good old fashioned edging.
Yeah.
Not this new kinky shit.
Go to a strip club. Don't give her $200 to go in the parking lot, and you go home.
Leave the strip clubs out of it, dude. They make me sick.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's
Disgusting. Those disgusting single mothers.
They're terrible.
Anyway,
trying to make a check.
Let's move on.
Hey, God bless their nursing student souls.
Yeah,
You know,
no, for sure.
they're
all
just
awesome.
doing it to get through to nursing school. That's it.
They bum good cigarettes too.
Yes, that was my casino birthday time.
Happy birthday, Cody.
Happy birthday, Cody. Happy birthday, bro.
That was
How
fun.
many of them girls do you think were in Diddy's possession that made the edges?
Edgers?
Oh, Diddy's the news, right?
Diddy's not an edger.
Yeah, no, I'm just transitioning to Diddy. What the fuck is going on with that, dude?
I sincerely have no idea what's going on with that.
Do you think Kesha wants to change the first words to her song?
I'm gonna
wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy?
Oh, I forgot about that.
I don't. I mean, obviously nobody knows all the facts because it's still up in the air.
Yeah, we're not reporting anything new. All I know is that
He just ran away.
he got on his private jet.
Oh, did he run away?
Allegedly.
sure.
I'm totally out of the loop on this.
They were not sure he was on his jet, but his house has got raided.
Yes, I saw the pictures.
Diddy's out of the country. Nobody knows where he is.
But
That's
his
100%
private
evidence.
jet went one way, but it doesn't mean he was on the private jet. He got on his second
It
private
almost
jet.
means he wasn't on the private jet.
Yeah.
Right.
His private jet went one way. They don't know if he's on
Homeland,
it.
Homeland Security raided his L.A. mansion and his, Miami mansion at the same time on the same day
It's pretty sick.
in different time zones. Raided both of them. And they do have concrete evidence that he was involved in child sex trafficking.
Is it concrete? Evidence?
Such a broad term.
That's what I've heard.
Are we 100% on that? Because I don't know.
I don't think you would do a different time zone, exact same time.
Yeah, it's hard to, specify those 3 hours time
know what
change.
I mean?
It's the CIA. You expect them to really keep track of time zones.
I saw
It's
there was,
not even CIA. It's the Homeland Security.
I
That
saw there
evolves.
was footage. There was things that like, who was it?
Cat Williams came out and said he's going to get his in 2024.
Cat Williams says
He
a lot of
mentioned
crazy
that
shit.
when he was
did
mentioning
it-
a bunch of people. But
Well, he did it
didn't
on
even-
Club. He was the first one to say on Club Shay Shay's.
He mentioned Diddy, but he's like, it doesn't matter if you're Diddy or whoever, blah blah blah. And he was just like running over names. I don't know 100%. Like it was like it's Diddy, but
Diddy.
I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just trying to be
Right.
a little.
You're playing devil's advocate. here
Devil's
a little
advocate
bit.
here, like, and like there's like who was it? Not Nelly. 50 Cent is saying he's gonna
50
buy up the
Cent?
footage
It's Diddy.
that because P Diddy had cameras all through his house.
Well, and Fiddy was calling it back in the day, before this happened.
But you
Cat
know,
Williams said it before this happened. There were people that were saying shit like this before it happened. That Diddy was one of those guys. If you cross him, he will kill you. I've heard this many times. This is probably like 3 years ago. I heard this. That
Or
if you
get
cross
footage
him,
of
he
you
will
sleeping
kill
with
you.
an
Like,
underage girl.
that he is a part of the Illuminati, and that's even like stretch however you want to fucking. But he was one of those made guys, and what was it? I think it was like 6 months ago. His old lady, they got divorced or separated. Maybe not even like legally divorced, but she went astray and started making allegations. And then one of the guys on his team, like a producer, I forget this motherfucker's name. I wish I did, because now here I am speaking as fact. But this guy came out and said he was doing some dirty fucking shit. And he was the one that came out with the huge deposition and all the facts, all the things. He spilled the fucking beans saying Diddy is bad. And that's what drew all of this insurrection, all of this shit. And look in, they found his fucking plug. They found and arrested his drug mule, his plug, like his drug guy. And they're even saying, like, no, we have concrete evidence. Concrete. They're not even saying, like, we have allegations against this. The people involved drawing these conclusions and trying to arrest him and indict him and all this shit are saying concrete evidence. And that to me, and once again, innocent until proven guilty, right?
Child bodies.
I'll give him the benefit of that doubt.
Bodies.
not bodies.
They've got bodies.
Oh, not bodies.
They've got bodies.
I'll give him the benefit of that doubt.
Yeah.
He's innocent.
Everybody
until,
deserves it. Yeah.
innocent until proven guilty. That's
For sure.
the kind of American I am. You
Yeah.
get that chance, you get that. But it's not looking good.
Not looking good.
No, it's not looking good.
Not looking good.
I mean, and the fact he just ran, but maybe you never know. So
But I mean, I also. I don't. What's P Diddy's net worth?
He's
I don't have the internet here. Hold on, I got it on my
$70
phone.
quadrillion dollars.
he's a billionaire.
Yeah, he's a billionaire.
He's a billionaire. He's got clothing lines. He's got his music
I
label.
feel like
he's got
once
everything
you
else.
start having that kind of life, like it takes the weird shit to get you off. Like Like lap jobs and edging aren't doing it anymore. You need to start blackmailing politicians.
Yeah, I was trying to talk to somebody about this because they were like,
Yeah, Diddy's.
I don't know how you're like a millionaire or billionaire, and like I'm like, once you're a billionaire, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
and like you like, oh, I want to fly to Italy tomorrow. I can fly to Italy. And like you don't worry about money anymore.
Yeah.
And that's
Like everybody's taking care of your entire life. It's like eventually they must get to some weird point because they're all depressed.
Yeah.
And they're all fucking become psycho. We've seen it with
Maybe a child will fill these voids.
with all these actors and stuff like that. I'm gonna get away from that a little bit. We see
And
like,
I'm not
with
even,
actors and stuff.
I'm
just
not
being
even
crazy,
cite the
but-
source or anything, but a quick Google search. Diddy net worth $1 billion. $1 billion.
You can buy a whole kindergarten class with that.
Jesus Christ! You could buy a goddamn country.
God damn it! But yeah, like so you can do whatever you want. Doesn't matter.
Well, it's
It's
even
like,
that shit that.
but that's why, like, I feel like most actors and like musicians and stuff turn to hard drugs.
Yeah.
well, that's even the shit
because
they came out about OBJ.
They're bored.
OBJ came out when he was on the Browns. There were Instagram models, aka hookers, that would pay money to hang out with him, and they even said like, no, he didn't want to do anything except for have me shit on his face.
Whoa. That's something.
Because you get so desensitized through all the sex, all the things everything that's available to him. At least it wasn't kids, it wasn't underage. He just wanted women to poop on his face. You know what I mean?
Somebody should have talked
To me,
him
that
about
seems-
edging.
No, it's
Yeah, I did that. He went through that
Yeah,
step.
he's past that.
He's
You're
went
right,
through that
you're
step.
right. Fuck,
and
that's
that's
as
the
crazy
thing. It's
as
like
I get.
I feel like there's too many people with too much money that aren't grown up enough to deal with it. You look at like your fucking Elon Musk. You look at most of your fucking billionaires. They're just like, yeah, that's what I do. And then probably they're into weird shit, but we don't know about it because they're really good with lawyers and they have non-disclosure agreements that nobody fucking talks about it.
Yeah. Imagine like,
I would never want that money.
I think about like eventually all of our browser history and all of our text, everything's going to be like pretty open source, right? And so like that's fine because nobody's like, yeah, my wife and a couple like maybe a future employer might look, but like imagine being that person that like everybody's like, oh, as soon as they release the data for Steve Schaefer, I'm making a fucking website about it.
You don't want to see my fucking browser.
But like,
history.
imagine being like a Musk or something where it's like, oh, if I get digitally hacked, they're doxing me on like every part of my life.
You're done.
And they're like guaranteed right now. 1,000 people are actively trying to hack Elon Musk's account. Right
for
now.
sure.
Yeah.
This moment, so like
All day, every day.
all day, every day.
He pays enough people to keep him to not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, it's so sketchy to me. I'm so glad to be like basically nobody. It makes
Well,
me
even
pretty
dumb
happy.
shit like
Well, when you're a billionaire, though,
Well,
like,
and I hate-
most of that's just like,
you have
what
those
are you
hacks.
actually worth? That's their idea of your worth, right? It's
honestly-
not like you got $1 billion in cash.
honestly, even like the let's go to the podcast spectrum because this is what I love. I love podcasting. I love doing this. I'm glad we're doing this, but like, look at, say, all of a sudden we're at Rogan's level. Look at how much they've tried to, but they can't find dirt on him. But
Right.
but how much does Rogan now? He's the number one media
in the world.
in the world.
Yeah.
So, and he doesn't talk about it, but how much does he have? What's his firewall? He's got to be paying people to protect him.
Because the fucking government's trying to hack him. Like it's not
There's-
just the hackers. It's
right.
the yes,
He's got to
mainstream.
He's got to be paying some people some really good money.
Dude, CNN's hiring
Well, I
hackers.
just don't
to
think there's
try to take
anything
him
you're
down.
going to pull up on him. He's a normal guy. Like, so-
Right.
Well,
Like,
and-
it's also, if you're a normal guy, it's
He
just like,
doesn't have
what
an
do you-
island. He's not trafficking children.
But the thing,
Yeah, what do you
yeah,
want?
and,
I mean,
his entire life is out on.
I came up, tried to be an actor. I got a gig as doing the.
He's already
Florida
apologized for
actor,
ivermectin. You know.
Or is that the
UFC
thing?
and, like-
Or is that the thing? They broke the firewall and they can't find anything. That's
Right.
That could be the other thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Well,
Maybe there are still genuine people out there.
Isn't it hard? Isn't it crazy that it's hard for us to imagine? Like, he didn't rape any kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's like just
That is kind of crazy. Like you have this,
But he's
this
rich.
amount of fame.
Yeah, he's rich. He has
You have
to.
this amount of fame. You have this amount of money, and you didn't get it by fucking somebody
He can't, like,
inappropriately in the
vanilla-
ass.
His sex life can't be regular vanilla.
his good time is I'm gonna go out and hunt elk and bears and do shit like that. Like he has a hobby.
I wish they would start leaking videos of him shooting compound bow. You know, I get down with that.
His hobby.
You don't need, they're not even leaked. He posts those.
Ah, dang, you're right. Yes.
You can get on Instagram right now and see him
Wouldn't that be
shooting
funny
pine.
though if they were like, we finally have the video evidence we need of Joe Rogan using weapons against animals.
Dude, well, Elon came in with a Cybertruck and he fired his bow, right? And so
I
there's
thought that was pretty stupid. Bulletproof armor. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Okay.
if armor is made to take a bullet,
yeah.
what makes you think a broadhead's going to go through?
I think he just did it for fun.
No,
Wouldn't
but
you be?
he was like, I love Joe Rogan. I owe a lot
Right.
to Joe, but he's like, it's good enough to stop a 50 caliber bullet, and he's like, but what about like a broadhead?
Yeah.
Okay, like a 40. I'm not positive, but I feel like if a panel of steel can stop a 45 ACP, then it can also stop a bow and arrow.
For sure.
That's just my thought. But he was like surprised that it could stop an arrow. I'm like, dude, if it can stop a gun, it can stop an arrow. But maybe I'm
That's
fucking.
That's
Well, I
that's
also
showmanship, you know.
well,
he was.
I also do believe. I
he
also
rides
do
the nuts
believe.
of compound bows.
Yeah.
I also do believe that was the second best thing he could do. Then pull out his 45 ACP and shoot it at it.
He could have done that.
He could have done that, but instead he's like, "Let me shoot a bow at it." And
Yeah.
Elon's like, "Yeah, fucking."
But he was surprised that it didn't go through. I remember him being like, "So it could stop a bullet, but I don't think it can stop my arrow." You know, I just think that's kind of backwards.
He's also. I get what you're saying, but one of the things I love about Rogan is he's a skeptic, and that's one of the things
Yeah,
that
for
I
sure.
do believe in myself is that I am a skeptic. You tell me something, you say, "Steve, you can't throw a beer can through that door right now." I'm like, well, let's
try it out.
Let's film it.
Yeah.
Let's film it just for fun. You know, and if I happen to make it, like, you piece of shit.
Yeah, don't
And
get me
if
wrong.
and if
I
don't-
love Joe Rogan.
You know, and if I don't make it, I'm like, hey, you're right. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and I know you do. I know you do. But I just, that's one thing I love about is I just love skeptics. I love skeptics.
He's like, "Oh, are you sure it's bulletproof? Let's try it out.
Let's give it a shot.
Let's give it a shot."
Are you willing to
Well, they immediately. What was it? The first one that came out, and he's like, "You can't break this," and he hit it
That
with a
was
hammer.
fucking
and it's-
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
oh well,
Yeah.
I guess this isn't the
Still
right
gave you a
model.
little minute to think like, okay, maybe an arrow could pierce.
Maybe
it.
you're right. Maybe,
know?
Yeah.
maybe.
Put your money where your mouth is type shit.
I mean, your arrow's not going to pierce shit.
Have you seen it? Have you seen a Cybertruck in
Not
person
in
yet?
real life, no.
I've seen two now.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they look cooler in real life?
They look so dope.
They're growing on me, and I believe that in person it's a whole different thing.
They look so dope.
I bet in person it's a whole different thing. You know what I've seen that like fascinates me is the Toyota $10,000 truck that they're releasing in other countries, but they will not produce for America.
Oh, the mini truck with the tiny bed.
It's fucking perfect. It's the exact truck I need,
Yeah.
and you can buy it in Mexico or China, but you can't buy it in the States.
Yeah. No.
No, because they
Toyota has so many cool things you can't get.
It's the perfect truck.
Toyota makes these fucking
they've been
diesel.
doing that for years.
It has AMF. No, have you
Years.
seen this one I'm talking about?
Is it recent?
Yeah.
Oh, because
It's
what's the
AM/FM.
one? There's one that they've had forever. That's like
It's like a
in
single cab with a
all
little bed.
other
With like,
countries.
with like a flatbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like stripped down. It's like an AM/FM radio, crank windows, manually positionable seats, flatbed, $10,000. Give me that shit. I want it right now.
Yeah.
Because I don't need a F350 Power Stroke turbo diesel or something.
No.
I just need something that I can throw my anvil on the back of and not have to like throw it in the back seat of my GTI.
Oh no, they're not going to give that to us.
It's such bullshit.
We pay more money.
That little fucker, right?
No,
No, not even that.
no. I'll find it.
Because those are
This
even
is
cool.
way cooler than that.
Well, we won't worry about it right now.
Shut up.
It's going to be. Well, you can find it and tell us the name of it so that people can Google it because it's going to be hard to put it up on screen. But
Well, yeah, no. Toyota makes so many cool things that aren't even available in the States. Toyota has diesel that aren't in the States.
well, yeah, I mean, it's not our company, so or not a United States.
Oh,
Army.
yeah, it's
kinda cool. Yeah.
Same concept.
Yeah, the one I
But
showed you is like
sick.
an older version of that. Yeah.
I want 3 of them. I would rather have 3 of those than a $30,000 truck. every day
Bro,
of the
for
week.
sure.
I'm so sad. All I want to be able to do is afford a truck, but it's almost impossible. Trucks cost like $50,000 for the cheap one.
No, they're way too
Terrible.
much. They're way too much. Well, especially in Ohio.
Yeah.
Because we have a different range for them.
Right.
But you can go to different states and maybe find them a little cheaper.
Yeah,
but
somewhere where
it's
there's
just
no
a little
demand
bit
for
different.
trucks. You could probably buy a truck for cheap in like New York City or like LA or something.
Texas.
It's always a.
Go to Texas.
But the demand for trucks is so high.
There's
in
an
Texas.
excess amount of them.
Right.
They have so many
Right.
that the companies. Well, they're more Super Duty and shit.
Yeah, jacked up.
Probably not smaller ones,
Right.
but more of the Super Duties, the haulers. You'll get one with like 60,000 miles that's been abused.
I want the most embarrassing truck ever. Like I want a 4-foot bed.
Oh, you need to find a little
And a
Nissan
four-banger.
with a bed.
Like that's all I want.
Nissan
I just
with a
want to literally be able to be like, oh, cool, I got this dirty tool and throw it in the bed of it.
Get an old school like 89 Toyota with a 22 RU 4-cylinder motor. Those things were so 2-wheel drive.
I kind of
So
want a
fucking-
Transit for like a mobile sharpening center, but Transits are expensive as shit. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Everything's
Hey,
fucking expensive.
anyways.
anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think I had myself a damn good time, and I don't know about you boys,
I have to tinkle so bad.
but I
Yeah.
think we should probably call it here on a damn good time
We've been
podcast.
rambling enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has been quite the ramble.
We started
Jordan,
rambling about trucks, so
Jordan,
Steve,
did you have a damn good time?
I had a damn good time.
Cody said he had a damn good
I
time.
had a damn good time. Steve, did you have a damn good time?
I
had a good-
myself
yes.
had a damn good time. We're going to take this chance to remind you guys to click like and subscribe to the Damn Good Time podcast. Also, check out Jordan Chumney on all of his socials.
And
He's
edge a
on-
little bit.
Yeah, and edge a little bit. You're on Instagram as,
Chumney Knives.
you're on Facebook as,
Chumney Knives.
are you on YouTube or anything?
I'm on TikTok as Chumney Knives.
On TikTok, it's Chumney Knives.
Yeah. And it's
Fine.
chumneyknives.co. Chumneyknives.co.
Check him out on all the shit. Show him all the love that you guys show us. And then anybody that are friends of him, show us the love fucking too.
Spread the love.
Let's make this mutual. But I love you, Jordan. I love,
love
you,
you.
Cody. I love you guys.
Happy birthday!
Hey! Happy birthday, this motherfucker. And we love you guys as listeners. And we'll see you next fucking week. Good night.
Peace.
I have to tinkle so bad.